Welcome to Good Times Rolling, the first ever Cape to Cape podcast. Megan, here we are. We don't really know what we're in for, but we'll give this a go, hey?
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome. We're so glad you're joining us. And this is a behind the scenes sort of peek at our Cape to Cape mountain bike event, which takes place every year in October. This is a bit of a snapshot to give people who may have already signed up, who are interested in signing up, who have never heard of us, a bit of a peek about what to expect. Today's episode is with Bill and myself. So we are the owners of the Cape to Cape mountain bike event. And this podcast series will go into further detail on tips and tricks for Cape to Cape. We'll have some exciting interviews coming up as well, some course previews and additional content to kind of give people an idea of what to expect, or hopefully get you involved and excited about the event as well.
Yeah, it's going to be informative. Hopefully it's going to be fun. We're going to try and have a few aspects. We'll try and bring some talent in, or people more talented than us, and hear their story, not just on Cape to Cape. It might be their story on cycling. We'll do some information sessions. We've got some great partners involved in this year's event, and we'll bring them in and do some specifics. We want to help people learn how to maintain their bike, how to repair tyres, all those sorts of things. We'll talk about training plans, we'll talk about nutrition programs, all those aspects that we hope help you. But just as importantly, we want your ideas. We're going to do this on a regular basis, so feel free to contact us and let us know if there's a particular thing about either the event or the sport or bikes that we can help with. But we just want to work with you and do something that's a little bit fun. It's a bit new for us, it's new for the event. But I think it can have some great value for our viewers, but also gives us some great feedback for our event moving forward. Our first podcast, something new for me in particular, but obviously I think it's something that the market in cycling definitely wants. So I think we can deliver some good information over the coming months. Yeah,
absolutely. I think it's a good opportunity for us to kind of give an insight as to who we are, like the people behind Cape to Cape, behind the scenes that put it together, and who we are as a business, as Event Matrix, as well as highlight some exciting things that we've introduced already, with our first event being 2024, and then the plan changes and improvements and exciting initiatives for 25 and onwards.
So who we are, Event Matrix, we're a Perth-based operational event management company. We delve into mainly mass participation events. We are now the new owners of Cape to Cape, or since last year's event, and we also run the Bustle and Festival of Triathlon for Triathlon WA. We are part owners in the Geo Bay Swim, which is also another great iconic event down in the southwest, where crazy swimmers swim from Dunsborough all around the bay to Bustleton. I don't know why you would, but that's what they do. But obviously a big focus for us is Cape to Cape, and we do a few others as well.
Yeah, we're the operational management company behind the Chevron City to Surf for Active, so one of Perth's biggest fun runs. And we were also behind the scenes for the 2025 Oz Cycling Road National Championships in Perth, which was a huge milestone for us as a business. But yeah, we're definitely tailored towards that mass participation, sporting event management space. So we're a small team of 6, all Perth-based, but get down to the southwest any chance that we can, really. And Cape to Cape is a great opportunity for that. So
it's a great excuse to go down to the southwest, to be honest. And we're not mountain bikers. We're learning. We've delved into it a little bit, both in the participation and obviously the management world. So we're learning as we go. I guess the biggest takeaway already is how polite and friendly mountain bikers are. Compared to some of the other events we run, they were just great people to deal with, and we really enjoyed the friendships that have evolved already around this event space, and looking forward to many more to come.
I would joke and say that you're a amateur mountain biker. You got out on the trails, you got out on the bike, you've now purchased a mountain bike, and
I think you've forgotten that you've enrolled in the clinic in 3 weeks' time. So we'll have notes to compare. But yes, trying to learn new skills. You're never too young to learn something new. Although the body's telling me maybe I'm a little bit too brittle for mountain biking, but we'll see how we go.
But in saying that, I guess we know events, we know specifically road events. Mountain biking was new to us last year, but I guess behind Bill and I, behind the Cape to Cape team, we have a great course team that have been involved in the event really some of them since its inception in 2008, from Brooksy, from Tony Tucknott, Graham Clark, and all of the clubs that we utilise as well to help to deliver the event. So it's a huge community that puts this event together with the Dunsborough Mountain Bike Club, the Mr. Orca, and then the other community groups that support in each of the different locations too.
Yeah, for sure. Like Niels and the team in Margaret River, for example, they put on so many great events, and the trails they have there are, world leaders in that space. So it's great to be integrated as part of them. We've both gone out and done a bit of course clearing for events, which is quite enjoyable, actually. There's nothing like the blower going and the headphones on. It's quite relaxing, but we're trying to be involved in all aspects. It gives us a better opportunity to deliver a great event for everyone, but most importantly, understand what our customers and clients want. And hopefully, we'll continue the growth of this magnificent event.
You should probably let everyone know, I guess, how we became the owners of the Cape to Cape event.
How did that happen?
We kind of fell into it, to be honest, if we're being honest with ourselves and the community. It was an opportunity that presented itself. I was involved in the 2022 delivery of the event when it was still under the Ironman ownership, and then the opportunity came to us that we could purchase the event, which was something that, to be honest, as a business, we hadn't really explored too much. Only forming in 2020 Event Matrix, we were kind of focused into our niche of operational event management delivery. But when this opportunity presented itself and we actually delved into the rich history of the Cape to Cape event, it was something that we couldn't pass up, and a huge opportunity, and something we were very excited to do and very proud to do as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think some of the logistics from running an event like this from the East Coast was a little bit difficult. And then we saw the opportunity that we could be here. Let's be honest, it was an opportunity to go to Margaret River as often as possible and have holidays on the company credit card. But not that it's happened too much. But yeah, I think it's being hands-on and having an interest in cycling in particular, other events we're involved in. It was a good fit for us. The accountants seemed happy enough with it all. So as long as it had their tick of approval, we sort of moved forward into that space and took it on. I think we've come in with very open eyes and open ears, most importantly. We're trying to listen to our customer base as much as possible and try and make sure our event still integrates well with the local community, which is really important in that part of the world.
I guess something that appealed to us was the rich history of the event. So obviously first year that it was delivered was 2008. Its early iterations were a few hundred people with a very iconic point-to-point mountain bike course, which the audience are definitely still screaming for, but has its challenges that given the growth of the event. But the previous owners definitely invested in the event heavily, grew the event to almost 1,800 riders in its 10th anniversary. We've actually recently been delving a lot into the rich history of the event. So we've been building out a Cape to Cape Legends program, which we're hoping to announce in the coming months or ahead of the 25 event, and really looking into how many riders have taken part over the event's 16 editions. So 2024 was the event's 16th edition, which is huge. It has such a fantastic reputation across Australia and internationally. We're really excited. It was named by Red Bull as one of the 5 best mountain bike events in Australia. So those kind of milestones really appealed to us. And when we delved down and saw the community heart of this event and how important it is to the Margaret River community or the wider surrounds, it was something that we couldn't say no to. And yeah, like Bill said, any excuse to head down south to either Augusta,
that helps, for sure.
Margaret River, Nannup, Dunsborough, you name it.
Yeah. I think now as a stage race, it's definitely the biggest one in Australia at the moment. The space in cycling is changing a little bit. Unfortunately, I think more and more cyclists are looking for an excuse to get off the open roads from a training aspect. So that assists in obviously the growth of gravel. And then there's definitely a follow-on into mountain biking as well. And we provide an event that's very accessible to everyone, and always has been. And I guess that was quite appealing when we considered the purchase. The point-to-point thing in the initial years was great, but quite simply, the Southwest has grown so much that it's not logistically viable. The issues with trying to move probably up to 1,000 cars from one venue to another during the event would be problematic. I think it would probably get a bit of pushback now from local councils and main roads. So the single venue works really well for a number of reasons, allows people to get out and spectate and then get back to the finish that the other system didn't really work with. But we do get some inquiries about point to point, but I don't think the Southwest could ever accommodate that sort of event again in that space, especially as big as the event's got. So, one of the great things about this event was probably what ticked the box in the end for us is the uniqueness of the event. It's a 4-day stage race that the elite categories take extremely seriously. This year's prize money is in excess of $20,000. But it allows them to race on some amazing trails and courses over the 4 days. But just as importantly, it's a great excuse for a mountain bike holiday. The stages are very carefully selected by a really experienced course team. We're going to try and ride most of them this year. But there's a focus on accessibility for everyone. So all levels, it is a mountain bike only event. You need to be on a mountain bike. Suspension is definitely recommended, but there are some people on the older historical type mountain bikes that don't even run suspension, but a mountain bike is one of the requirements. But the course is accessible to anyone who's really ridden a mountain bike with some reasonable level of fitness and some decent skills in that space.
I guess I would add to that and say that although I think in a lot of our promotions we probably highlight our elite field and our real true blue mountain bikers, they make up, I guess, a percentage of the field, but a large percentage of our field are people that maybe hadn't gotten on a bike until earlier that same year or didn't have the skills and really signed up to complete the Cape to Cape as a bit of a personal challenge. And those are the stories that definitely stick with us as well. And we will aim to highlight those more so in our promotions going forward and really speak to the sense of community behind this event. We also looking at how we can, I guess, foster and increase female participation in the event is a core thing that we're trying to focus on and increase. It's definitely a challenge. I think across the board, female participation in cycling or mountain biking specifically is a fractional percentage. Last year we had about 15% of the field which was female, and that's something that we're aiming to grow this year. And we have a few initiatives that we have introduced in 25 to try and foster that.
Yeah, I think just specifically with the female thing, there's definitely a target to give more information and to make sure that area understands that it is achievable. We've had an info night already in conjunction with Wembley Cycles. We're going to run a female-only clinic, which will be purely based on skills-based activities, just to understand that there actually is some really good methods to mountain biking that make you feel a lot safer and a lot more confident in the trails. So there will be quite a focus in that element. The open category this year, both male and female, will pay down to 10th place. So we're going to try and encourage more people who are competitive and not sure whether open is for them to just, take that plunge to the next level in their sport, with the opportunity to get some rewards financially if they're in the top 10, obviously. But we do feel that it's more about making it accessible. We're looking at, trail etiquette, for example, and trying to educate all participants that we're all out there together, how to pass, when to pass, how to advise people that you've come up behind them, all those things that our research is showing causes a bit of a blockage for some people, and in particular females, to participate. So we're trying to remove and break down those barriers. So I guess this event continues to evolve well before us, and we're trying to evolve it as well. So one of the things I guess that we should let everyone know is the format for this year. There's plenty of opportunities in different areas, isn't there? There
is. So you can take part in a number of ways in the Cape to Cape stage race. So essentially you can do it as a solo, so solo riders for 4 days of the event. You can take part as a pair, which is a really great initiative that was introduced a few years ago, quite a while ago now for Cape to Cape, and it essentially gives people the opportunity to ride with a buddy, a mate, a friend, which has been really popular. And I guess kind of breaks down that barrier of getting stuck out in the bush by yourself or something like that.
Creates a buddy system.
Exactly, yeah. And some cool competition around that, I guess, within just the pairs categories being, you can ride it as a male pair, mixed pair, female pair as well, which are popular. And for 2024, we actually also introduced an e-bike category. So something that we acknowledge we want to continue to grow, I guess, with the community, the mountain bike community, e-bike sales across the board, and e-bikes in every really category of cycling have skyrocketed, especially since a COVID period. And is something that's a bit new in the mountain bike space, especially racing in events, and trying to make sure that we integrate that in a way that doesn't impact, I guess, either rider's experience during the event. But you can take part in the e-bike category at Cape to Cape as well. And we've drilled down that to our course team to see how we can involve e-bikes in the event without, I guess, impacting our standard 4-day riders and vice versa. So something that was a challenge last year, and something that we definitely like to grow in the event and promote that e-bike participation is possible, obviously within the race rules, without cycling sanctioning as well. But I think it's a huge opportunity for growth for the event, to be honest, and people that might think that these sort of distances or this sort of elevation in each of the stages isn't possible. E-bikes are welcome at the event, and really helps include or increase that accessibility for people who otherwise might not have or think they have the fitness to do this event.
Look, I think we all agree it's a huge market, not just as an opportunity for our event, but I think it's something where our customers are calling out for it. There's a lot of people joining cycling in general just because of the e-bike capabilities. You know, my wife's keen to ride a bike, but it's got to be an e-bike. There's no other option in her space. I think we're seeing from last year's e-bike field, those who are getting on a little bit are seeing this as a great opportunity to still adventure into this sport, still use their skills as a mountain bike rider, without the added stress of climbing hills and having to train every day like some of our elite do. It's an evolving space, and we're very aware of some of the issues that this e-bike category can cause to others. So we're looking at ways to just better do that. You know, bigger gaps. We'll look at seeding this year as well in the e-bike category to try and make that a little bit clearer and happier for everyone, because obviously we want everyone to have a great experience. The good thing is passing on the trails, if it's done correctly, is reasonably easy to do. It just takes a little bit of patience from some people. We'll work on that aspect of the e-bike thing. The 4-day format. A focus back on the solos from the open category point of view is for a number of reasons. It seems to be in Australia now, a lot of our elites are individually sponsored. So just that alone, pairing them up, caused a few issues with, what bike are they going to ride, what jersey are they going to ride, what sponsor are they going to promote. So we sort of got a bit of feedback from them, and it was sort of decided to go back to the solo as the open category and the prize money category. But definitely the pairs is a great buddy things, son and daughter combinations. There's husband-wife combinations is very popular, although that can come with some grief, as we saw last year. One of our mixed pairs, the male partner decided to give his wife a bit of a push and pushed her straight into his handlebars, and she fell off to the point that required medical attention and didn't finish the rest of the event. But
they were okay.
I think if they can work together as a partnership in a mountain bike race over 4 days, their relationship's pretty solid for the remainder. I guess it's important we have open eyes to this space. We get some great feedback, and we seek that as well. We try to respond to everyone's inquiries. A lot of people have a lot of grand ideas, but obviously collectively we've got to look at the group, work out not only what's best for riders, but what suits the community aspect of it too. We're so fortunate with some of the very sensitive areas we're allowed to access for this event. So we've got to keep that in mind too.
Yeah, a lot of the courses are exclusive to the Cape to Cape event, and it takes a long time for us to work through those approvals with the local government and local residents, and there's private property access throughout the event as well. So that's probably part of the reason that we don't release the courses in any great detail ahead of the event, or don't release the courses as a GPX file, because we're really protective over the residents and the local impact for the event, but also where it's accessing private property, those courses can really only be accessed in that format during the Cape to Cape event.
Yeah, it's a really common question, isn't it? Is, can I have the course? Can I have the course? And we know that, so you want to go and practice, but you just got to appreciate that from our point of view, there's a lot of hoops to jump through to get these courses. Definitely the areas are well known and announced, then you can definitely go down there and ride, especially the purpose-built mountain bike paths. That's encouraged, in fact, to go down and ride them. But the actual specifics of the course for these type of events can't really be released because of the access requirements. So.
And what if people don't want to take part in a 4-day format, Bill? What's other options do people have?
Very good question. Who would have prompted that? Look, we've introduced a mini event, a 1-day event. And this year it'll again be on the Saturday, which is based out of CB Cove, Margaret River. So it'll enjoy the Margaret River mountain bike trails. They'll do the full stage of the 4-day competitors on the Saturday, but it's really an introduction to our event, as opposed to an introduction to that day of the course. It's about showcasing what our event does, the experience from the time you go and pick up your number, right through to the expo each day, through to the post ride thing is the bigger thing. CB Co Brewery is pretty popular. We go through a lot more beers than we do gels over the 4 days of our event, but in particular the Saturday mini is literally on that. Give people a bit of a taste as to what the 4-day event's all about, and hopefully they come back the following year. I guess simple. It's a mountain bike holiday. It's about getting to the southwest of Western Australia, which is a very well-known part of the world for its beaches, for its wineries, its breweries, its great scenery. The concept of our event and the format of the event allows people and their families to explore that. We're very family focused. Even those who are down towards the back of the field, most people are done by lunchtime each day, which gives you the rest of the day to explore the amazing southwest. We have great support from Tourism WA, who not only support our event, but they use our event to showcase Western Australia because we're so fortunate about where it is. But definitely that holidaying is a really important part of what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the travel component of the event and the holiday element really speaks to our interstate, international competitors, like the stories that come out every year. We had an amazing family from Wisconsin last year that traveled from America and had this on their to-do list for years and really got out and brought the whole family out. Essentially, it's a half day of racing, if that, and then you got the other half of the day to make the most of the beautiful caves down there, the beaches, the wineries, the breweries, which I think feeds into the beautiful scenery that people can access when they're on the ride, but also the villages or the event sites for each of the days really focuses on the activation. I guess you have the start of the event, everyone comes back and finishes in the same location, but there is usually a licensed area, food options, expo options with all of our partners, so Giant, Pedal Mafia, recovery areas. We're really definitely focusing on how we can further activate those villages. We had a live band at our Nanup site last year, which was really nice to add to the atmosphere. And I think it's part of the ethos of the Cape to Cape brand and the Cape to Cape event is it's good mates, fun trails and cold beers. So really get out there, get in the trails, have a good ride, and then come and commemorate of your ride of the day over a beer or a wine at the venue. And we're really fortunate to access the areas that the event does, and that's thanks to Tourism WA and the support that makes really the event possible, but then extending into each of the areas that we operate. So we have strong partnerships with Shire of Augusta, Margaret River, Shire of Nanup and City of Busselton as well. And this is really some of the best parts of the country, if not the world, and we might be a little bit biased in that view, but it's a mountain bike holiday, and the racing is amazing. The trails that we can access through Tank 7 in Nannup, the CB Co stages. It's beautiful, but it's part of the event. It's not the whole of the event.
Yeah, I think the mountain bike event is a great excuse to just get down to that part of the world. Dunsborough, the country club in there, is quite a challenging day 4 out of Wise Winery, but the scenery and location there for both the start and the finish is just spectacular. So we're very conscious that a lot of our customers or riders are family members. So we try and deliver something, and this is where the councils are so helpful, is to showcase the region. Often we find that the riders drop at start finish, and then the kids and the rest of the family are gone, and they'll go and explore in the morning while they're waiting for mum and dad to come back and try and make it back to see them finish. But collectively, we see it by the social media posts. People go out exploring. There's caves, there's beaches, there's obviously the iconic Bustleton jetty that I've seen photos of people standing on the end in their Cape to Cape gear. So it does allow enough time. What is crazy is a lot of the open competitors ride back to their accommodation after they've ridden, sometimes up to 50 Ks post day, and I just can't fathom that or understand how they have the energy for that. So I think it helps them in that space as well, but I do know, and I've heard a lot of rumours, that they like to have a good party each night as well.
There was a few headaches at the start of day 4 last year from our league category. There was a few bottles of local produce wine consumed the night before.
Yeah, so it's end of season for them. The prize money obviously incentivises their participation, but also it's quite a big event to win. We've had some of our most successful mountain bike athletes win this event, and it's often top of their list of what they want to do for the year, and it's a big focus, especially for our Australian-based guys. Luckily this year we'll have a few of our more internationals back as well. But again, it's more about the whole experience down there, and every participant is there for their own reasons, and they're so varied, from people recovering from serious illnesses, obviously cancer being a big one in that space, that they come back and want to tick the box. So there's a lot of emotion around the finish line from family members and people like that, which obviously is a great feeling for us that we've helped contribute to their experience as well, no matter what level they're at.
I guess people that are interested in the 2025 event specifically, what dates are the event this year, Bill?
Oh, yes. Is that a test or what?
It is, yeah.
The 4-day event is 16 to 19 October, with day 1 being Thursday the 16th. But this year, we're going to bring something new to the table. We're investigating bringing a prologue stage back for the open category, which will showcase them. One comment that's quite common is those down the back of the field never actually get to see how fast the front guys go. So we're going to put on a short circuit format event for male-female open. That'll then integrate with registration at the same area. It'll also integrate with it. We'll do a face-to-face riders briefing just prior to the elite race. But most importantly, we're also going to put on a kids ride for that time, and that'll happen on the Wednesday. So Wednesday the 15th, after school, obviously, because it's school hours. So that won't probably start till 4:00 in Margaret River. But it's just a bit of let's show the local community and those that don't see the front what mountain biking is all about. So that's new. They've had different variations of this in the past, but it's a new concept that for us and what we're going to bring. But apart from that, I guess the big thing is venues. Day 1 we'll start and finish again at the iconic Augusta Lighthouse. For the first time ever, the lighthouse was actually included in the course last year, which was a bit of a risk from our point of view to take that on, but the feedback was very positive in that space, and obviously...
Do you think it was positive? I think some people had to ride past the finish to then come back around the lighthouse, but it looks great in the imagery.
Yeah. Well, it was great for us. We got some great photos.
Yeah.
I think that was a good thing, and it showed it, and we had the arch set up so the lighthouse was in the background, so those taking photos got a good shot. Day 2, we're going to return to Nannup. Nannup was first time ever last year. And that was a wouldn't say a risk, but it was a big jump into the unknown for us and our course team. Nannup has the Tank 7 mountain bike trails now are amazing. And we really wanted to use that opportunity. Yes, it went away from the traditional Cape to Cape, but luckily Nannup's only 50 kilometres from Margaret River. So there was no complaints about the drive, which was good. There was plenty of complaints about how hard some of the hills are. But that's what mountain biking is all about. And I think that was a very popular day out. We'll make some slight modifications to day 2. Then day 3's
back to CB Eco, the iconic Margaret River stage of the event, always a favourite. And that is also the stage for our one-day Cape to Cape mini event. It's our biggest day, really. It's a beautiful trails all the way through the Margaret River area there, and start and finishing at CB Eco is also very iconic. Such a beautiful spot there, and our beer sponsor, really. It's a great place to kick back and reminisce over a few bevies. And then day 4, we're headed back to Wise Wines in Cape Naturalist or Dunsborough area. So start finish there. Beautiful venue, and a bit of a challenging day after. I think everyone's got 3 days in the legs by then, into the pea gravel element of the event, which is really unique to that area. So in and out of the Dunsborough community country club there with the mountain bike club.
The country club's, quite iconic, mainly for the pea gravel, which is a very Western Australian element. And a lot of sports, or nearly any sport that goes on gravel roads in WA, comments on the pea gravel. So that gives everyone a bit of a taste of that on the last day. But also it's the location for our clinics. They're going to run out of the country club between now and the event, which are a total free of charge thing for those people wanting to, not sure whether they need to enter or want to enter. We're going to run those clinics as well, and they'll be run in Dunsborough. So that'll make it challenging. Pretty much from our coaches that we're using, they're saying if people can get through the clinic comfortably, they'll easily get through the event. So it's a good judge, I guess, in that space. But Wise is just an amazing place. We try and have all our meetings at Wise.
The food and drink are excellent.
And the views. Next level. So, and it brings us back, I guess, to the Cape to Cape principle. We do a little bit of bitumen at the start of day 4, but that's so you can ride along the iconic Eagle Bay coastline. And for those who've got the time to look out, the rest of us are probably just puffing hard and trying to get up the hills, but it's a great scenery and it's a great way to end such an amazing event. It gives people a chance to have a chat to new friends as they ride along that part of it before they get back into the trails.
So something that we have grown on from our 2024 initiatives, we free clinic in 2024 in the lead into the event to really give people, I guess, exposure to mountain biking, and really it's a core opportunity for them to get some mountain bike skills if they don't already. And we got some really great feedback around that from last year. So something that we've grown this year is 4 clinics that will be hosted over different weekends down south in conjunction with the Dunsborough Mountain Bike Club. So those dates are the 7th of 8th of June, which is a women's only clinic, and we're really excited. We've had a great response to that so far. We're looking at over 20 women taking part in that clinic, myself included. Yeah, we'll see how I go on the bike.
The rest of us just going to watch. It's going to be our weekend to watch.
Yeah. The other dates for those clinics is the 26th and 27th of July, the 30th to the 31st of August, and the 20th to 21 September. So do you want to give the team a bit of an overview of what the clinics are?
Yeah, I guess the clinic idea came from a number of factors. Obviously, as we mentioned earlier, trying to build that bridge and show people that our event is accessible to most people that ride a mountain bike, but also in some ways, hopefully it's giving a little bit back to the mountain bike community. They're totally free of charge, whether you enter Cape to Cape or not. And we have a PBMI level 3 coach, Andy Van Can, who's going to facilitate it. Him and Graham Clark from the Bike Shed will be our main coaches for the weekend, and they're going to give their time to deal. Collectively, there's a group of 20 plus for the first one, but they'll break off into groups. It'll be a lot of one-on-one training, and they'll adjust the course depending on the rider ability. So you can be an absolute first timer on a mountain bike.
Like me.
Yeah. We've got an ability to hire bikes as well through our Burnside Bike Connection and also through the Bike Shed in Dunsborough. So there's no real excuse if you're interested in mountain biking, and especially marathon or cross-country mountain biking. It's a great opportunity to come down to the southwest for a weekend and try it out. Obviously, from our point of view, hopefully what happens by Sunday afternoon is everyone who attends enters, but it's not the key focus. We're just trying to show that this sport is probably easier than a lot of people realise, including us.
So yeah, there's no obligation. Anyone can come and attend these clinics for free. No obligation to sign up whatsoever. I guess we're really invested in this event and in the mountain bike community, and we acknowledge, I guess, how many people are purchasing mountain bikes at the event at the moment and potentially not coming through to ride in events or take part in these events. So really it's to give people exposure to that, riding in the group, see what they could expect if they did want to eventually sign up, but really just from a grassroots level, I guess, investing in the sport and the clubs that are operating in that region and try and get more and more people involved in the sport. At the least, if they happen to come to the event, it's a great benefit to us. If not, no obligation.
Yeah, and then the follow-on from that is we'll provide a 12-week training program. Sarah Hunter, who's an ex-elite mountain biker and a well-recognised coach, she's on board to provide training programs. We'll have a generic one for Cape to Cape, starting 12 weeks out, obviously, but then she'll be contactable for those that want to do a little bit more. I just got an email from her this morning. She's going to attend the morning of the first clinic. And help out with the female one initially, which will be great. So we're just trying to make the path a lot easier for people into mountain biking and also into our event. You know, one of the huge things is the fact that the Busselton Airport now, there's flights direct from Melbourne and Sydney, so that opens that part of it up. We have a good relationship with Hertz Hire Cars, which allows people to get the vehicles they need to take bikes to an event. So we're trying to tick all the boxes to make the process a lot easier. We understand that coming to an event for 4 or 5 days is logistically difficult, so we're trying to help in that space as much as we can. The clinics is probably the big thing for us this year, and already the interest is really strong. Yeah,
we also have a nutrition program that has been developed in conjunction with our partner Pure, who are New Zealand based but are preservative free. Electrolyte and gels. So that's what will be on offer for riders at the event, but also putting together a nutrition plan to give people a bit of guidance, I guess, as to what they should be consuming throughout this sort of distance ride, or how they should be training with the product as well, to make sure that when they actually get there in the day, that they can continue and finish the event.
Yeah, I think nutrition is probably key to a 4-day event because it's not just about getting through each day, it's about recovering as quickly as possible. So we're not experts, but a bit like our course team, we have experts on standby to help with those sorts of things. So again, we're just trying to make it easier for people to come along and alleviate concerns. I think we all as humans worry about the unknown, and we're just trying to tick some of those boxes so people can enjoy a mountain bike holiday in the southwest. Obviously, getting to these events is that logistical challenge. Moving bikes anywhere can be an issue. There's an issue for those that aren't aware with e-bike batteries. So the strong recommendation is to send them ahead or check with your carrier what the rules are on transporting your e-bike battery. Some carriers allow you to take it in your hand luggage. Others don't want them at all. So that opens up a bit of an issue for some, but obviously if that becomes a problem, reach out. We can have a delivery address for you if you need to send your battery earlier. We also do have a great partnership with Burnside Bikes, who hire a number of high-end bikes, dual suspension bikes plus e-bikes. So international travellers, that might be a great way to get yourselves to the event. When it comes to accommodation, there's opportunities as well.
We've partnered with travel managers. So we actually have a travel agency who we work alongside to deliver travel and accommodation packages. So if you're interested in coming, you're not sure where to stay or how to get there, then please reach out to us. or visit the website as a contact there from travel managers. We can definitely help to break down a bit of those barriers about where's the best places to stay. We've partnered with a few different accommodation providers in the southwest to really get great rates and prices for Cape to Cape constituents. So please, any questions at all, please do reach out. We're always here to help. And I think some of the common questions or people have concerns about this event, we definitely have partnered with people, or we can point you in the right direction to break down any of those barriers or questions that you might have.
Yeah. Accommodation is always a thing. I suggest you get in early. It's the Southwest is very popular all year round now because of how many great attractions there are. So depending on your budget, there's probably something that fits your needs, from caravan parks right through to 6-star resorts if you're that way inclined. But if you have any questions in that space, we have a great team here, luckily, that helps in that area. If we don't know the answer, we'll try and find out for you. But there's lots of opportunities to help you tick that box to the best of your ability and the best of ours, obviously, as well.
I think we've probably gone through, I guess, how people can prepare to the event, how people can get to the event, but once people are actually signed up, what can they actually expect? And I guess, how do we support people during the event is probably a question that people have when they sign up. Do they need to be self-sufficient, or do we have items provided? And something I think that Bill and I are really proud of, and our wider team are really proud of, is the level of service that we offer riders that are doing the event. So Bill, I don't know if you want to touch on some of those.
Yeah, so we started a new initiative last year. We're working with a group called the Veterans Transition Centre. Primarily, their members are ex-military service personnel, and now they've sort of expanded to emergency service personnel as well. Obviously, sometimes they're people in the PTSD space, but they've come along and they're all fit and healthy people. And they've helped where we've integrated this year. We'll probably integrate up to 12 riders into the field. They're identified very clearly. We introduce them at the briefing day one, make sure everyone knows who they are. But they're there just for support. Now, that support could be any sort of support. It could be medical, unfortunately, if you had an accident, mechanical support, or just that encouragement you need to get over that hill that you've decided you have to walk up. But they're there so everyone knows there's a bit of a backup somewhere behind them if they need to. They come equipped with a first aid kit. They come with some minor bike repairs, puncture repair stuff. Also, and then most importantly, they have a radio, and they'll relate to our comms points along the way. So it's quite new in the mountain bike space. It's definitely new to Cape. The feedback on these guys was amazing. They were thanked by many in our review, just more as the encouragement as much as anything. Obviously, in addition to that, we have a integrated, collection team if required for, serious mechanicals, a medical team, and a very complicated and intense communications. We run a command centre for this event to make sure we look after people as good as we can. They're tracked via their numbering system. We're going to add some points and split time opportunities for those serious ones, but most importantly, add some more points to making sure we reconcile constantly and look after people the best we can.
People probably don't see the behind the scenes as to what goes in. But essentially once everyone's started at the start line, we will be tracking you through the entire event and through all of those timing points and through the different comms points. So we have tail end riders, or we have the Veterans Transition Centre crew that are spaced throughout as well. But we literally make sure everyone gets home safe. If we haven't seen someone at a timing point and it's been a little bit too long, we'll essentially put out the communication to try and find that rider and just touch base with them. Some people pull out and make your way home, which is completely fine as well, but just let us know, because we'll definitely really make an effort to make sure everyone gets home safe, as well as that everyone has the same experience for the event as well. We're very conscious that making sure that our number one rider gets a same experience as our last finisher for that day. So that's something we feel very strongly about.
Yeah, like the mechanical support extends with our unbelievable partnership with Giant. They provide free of charge mechanics at the venue. We'll send a mechanic out to the midpoint aid station as well. One thing that was quite interesting last year is most mechanical repairs happen day one. which I guess in the podcast we'll start to focus on maintenance and what you should do prior to the event, and we'll get some experts in for that rather than just us. But it was, in particular, punches and mechanical problems. Day one's the biggest. When it comes to minor accidents and things like that, it tends to be day 4 as the fatigue comes in. Hence, we'll talk more about ideas around nutrition and how to keep yourself healthy for 4 days without too many beers each night.
During the event as well, there's, for each of the 4 stages, there is a water point or an aid station that we have positioned. Some of the days you'll access that point a few times. I think one of them's up to 3 times. Other days it might just be a midway point, but essentially we provide water there. We provide electrolyte. There's gels, there's lollies, there's fruit. There's also a toilet there as well that can be used. So we have that each of the 4 days is there for people to utilize, as well as when you get back to the finish line, you'll get congratulations, and then there's recovery with water, electrolyte, fruit as well to refuel. And then obviously everyone gets a medal as well at the end of the event. So the day 4 or the mini get the medals on their Saturday event.
Sounds like all you have to do is ride, really. Everything else is done for you, and someone there to look after you. So and that's the idea. We want the smiling faces coming through that finish arch. Definitely make it all worthwhile for us. So we're always looking at ways to make sure people's experience is exactly what they'd hope for. For some people, this is the biggest thing they've ever done in their lives, and we're conscious of that. And we want to make sure that behind the scenes everything's happening smoothly so they can enjoy their experience. It includes, we have to have traffic management for certain road crossings. There's a lot of things go into it. We have a parking team, for example, to make sure we utilise the limited parking opportunities the best. And, we have a sweep team to make sure there's nothing left behind. We try and work on zero footprint. So we strongly ask everyone to make sure they don't litter. That's probably the biggest concern for us as event owners in this space because of the area we're into. But again, we sweep all the courses before and after. Our team starts signing the course a week out, which is quite a detailed operation to make sure people don't get lost. And put things in place to monitor, if they do, that we can get them quickly. So we're only 1 year in. It was a big year. I think we learnt a lot. We were really tired, but I guess, is there anything memorable that sticks out in your head?
There's a few, actually. I think probably one of the special moments that's really sitting with me from last year and then taking through into this year as well is, I guess, how many people have done this event quite a few times. So we have essentially 2 riders. So Bruno Wiki and Rowan Brown, they've done every single year of the event, which is amazing. But hearing other people's stories that have done this event 10 times and all of their memories and stories, and I think they're reminiscing even at the end of each stage if they've come off and had a bit of a gravel graze. It's kind of like their memories. And I think just sitting back at the event, even behind the scenes last year, and just listening to people chatting and how excited they were from the stage, or did you see this section, or did you enjoy this trail? I think that's probably my most memorable moment from last year. Do you have one specific one?
Yeah, I guess on a personal level, I have a couple. The snake photos that I was sent pre-event weren't that exciting, but touch wood, we didn't have any issues in that space. I think walking kilometres of the Augusta Trail with the blower-vac and the headphones on was probably the most relaxing time I had last year. Totally. Couldn't hear my phone, couldn't see my emails. It was a great place to be. But it was great to know that what we were doing out there was going to benefit everyone that rode. But definitely the stories around it. Some of the race element was quite exciting from my point of view. Reece Tucknott had a really good go at trying to win the event on Sunday, and unfortunately came unstuck. So unfortunately, I was probably his first point of contact when he returned to the village, and doing that interview with a guy who's done this event so many times and is such an elite mountain biker. He was genuinely so disappointed in what had happened, and he just made a minor mistake that had probably, in my opinion, cost him the win. But also, obviously dejected. He had a serious shoulder injury, and he, as punishment to himself for falling off, he rode back to the venue, which was just a little bit unheard of. But they're sort of some of the things I really remember. I remember the lack of sleep as well, though, to be honest.
a bit of that, but I think lots of good memories and even reminiscing like day to day with our team internally. I think everyone's really looking forward to this year. And what are you most excited about for 25?
Bringing the prologue back, or the Wednesday night event, I think will be exciting. It'll give an opportunity to showcase our sport to a lot of people, families, friends of participants, but also to the local community. We really hope that the Margaret River community, we're going to reach out to the schools, really jump on board with that and come along and see what this event's all about. It's more than just a mountain bike race. It's wellness, it's activity, it's good for everyone to be active in that space. So hopefully that can do. And we've got some exciting things, a new relationship with the Perth Children's Hospital Foundation as our charity. They'll join Dismantle, our Super Socks Saturday charity. So those two components, I think, will bring things that'll be exciting to watch and see.
Yeah, I probably have two things that I'm really excited for this year, and you picked one of them being the introduction of a kids event at that prologue, which we're just working through the specifics of that at the moment. But yeah, partnering with the Perth Children's Hospital Foundation is really exciting in that space, and I guess a way to engage with kids in the sport as well. There's a great kids programs or school programs down in Margaret River specifically for our age limitations, given the distance of our events each day. You have to be 15 or over to ride the Cape to Cape. So the kids race on the prologue day is an opportunity for us to engage with those locals who are already on the bike and give them a bit of a taste of the event. And the second thing I'm really looking forward to launching ahead of this year's event is our Cape to Cape Legends program. So we're just working through the specifics of that as well. But in the past few weeks, we've really been delving into the history, all of the different data from the last 16 years of the event, and looking at a way to acknowledge the people that have really hit those key milestones. So the 5-year, the 10-year, the 15-year, and then all the way up to our Brunos and our Rowans who have done every year of the event. And something I think is really special to us as the event owners is how engaged people are with this event, and to keep them coming back to hit those milestones is really, really exciting.
Yeah. We may even hit our 10,000th participant this year. If we don't hit it this year, it'll be one of the first the following year. But ideally, from our point of view, we'd love to hit it. And obviously, we'll acknowledge that as well. But those that just continue to support the event deserve the acknowledgement that we're going to try and give them this year. So that'll be an interesting part. And we'll do some presentations around that as well as we move forward. The Bruno Rowan thing will be interesting. Rowan's got a couple of years advantage if they're going to battle for to see who goes the longest. But Bruno's a wily old fox. I think he's got a fair few left in him as well. But it's just great talking to those guys. They've seen the whole thing. Their feedback after last year's event was so positive that gave us the reassurance we think we're on the right track. I think the big thing for us, we're here for the long haul. We're integrating this with the local community, but we're in this for the future, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're already looking ahead to, I guess, the 20th iteration of the event, with this year being the 17th, and looking ahead into 26 plans and onwards. We're already getting asked, actually, what are the dates next year? People kind of pre-planning those mountain bike holidays, which is really exciting. So, yeah, we're invested, and we got a long-term plan around the event about where we wanted to see it, especially for that 20-year anniversary.
For sure.
Hopefully, I guess that's given you a bit of an overview about what to expect for Cape to Cape. How can you actually get involved? You can sign up online via our website. So it's cape2capemtb.com. Or find us on socials. We're putting a lot of effort into, I guess, our pre-event promotions and really trying to push out videos about how to get involved with the event, what to expect at the event, kind of giving people a bit more of a preview of the courses or what to expect this year and some of those initiatives we mentioned. And I guess the introduction of this podcast series is really to give people another touch point with the event. I think it hits our probably core demographic of people who are taking part, but also looking at tips and tricks and interviews with people who have been involved with the event for a long time as well.
Yeah, sure. And we'll expand that into the mountain bike space and hopefully be as informative as anything else in the whole thing about what people can expect and need to prepare for. We've started some new things with we're going to have a couch to Cape segment and just show a beginner's journey right through. Hopefully they get right through. But that's another element of just showing people that we're out there and available. We have a YouTube channel, so people can get on there or via our website and look at the previous events. We do a lengthy documentary each year, and some of those are a really good way of understanding what the event's all about.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of Good Times Rolling, a Cape to Cape mountain bike podcast. For more information and to enter Cape to Cape, please head to our website, cape2capemtb.com, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook to stay up to date. We'll see you in the trails.